Welcome to Toffee TV. There's the player ratings. Ipswich Town 0, Everton 2. A solid, professional performance. Gets the Toffees all 3 points at Portman Road. And yeah, first away win since last December against Burnley. And it felt a very, very similar kind of game as well. With Everton getting 2 first-half goals, one of them being from Michael Keane. So, job done. Job done. Yes, it is the player rating, so let's just get into it. Jordan Pickford didn't have loads to do today. What he did, he was, no real issues at all. Just looking at his saves, 2 saves, 1 punch. Didn't really have too much to do. There's talk about Jordan Pickford at the moment. Didn't have a very good game for England the last time out, and then he was dropped for the game against Finland, was he? Finland. I wasn't really paying too much attention to England, but he was dropped for the game against Finland. Whether he was actually dropped or whether he was, it was just one of those ideas to give somebody else a game. Not entirely sure, but he came back and he had a pretty solid game for the Toffees today. So no complaints there for Jordan Pickford, who give him a 6.9 for today's performance. Ashley Young. I thought Ashley Young, again, was very, very steady, this time playing right back. Defended well. Didn't have, 7 out of his 10 ground duels, won 1 out of 1 aerial duels. Still, listen, he's got that experience of sort of, in many ways, taking over quite literally the role of Seamus Coleman this season. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but he uses all of his experience to do the job. I was just going to show you his heat map, but his heat map has disappeared. I'll see if I can find it. There it is. There's his heat map. So you can see there as well, obviously it's a lot of him in our half rather than being in their half. But I mean, what would you expect? This is the way Sean Dyche plays. He doesn't really want his fullbacks going too far up, and that's why it suits Ashley Young in many ways, and that's why he can get away with playing. And I don't mind that too much. You've got to have one of your fullbacks to go forward. I'd rather it was the other side, because I think on the other side we actually massively benefit from a fullback going past Ndiaye. But Ashley Young, I think, has been so steady this season, bar the game against Brighton where he let himself down more than anything else. Obviously, he let us down, but he let himself down massively in that game. But I do think that he has proved a lot of doubters wrong. And is doing really well for us. So it was strange because we had 3 fullbacks on the bench today. Suddenly you can have no right backs, and suddenly you've got 3 right backs on the bench. So those players have got to try and take the shirt off them, haven't they? And we're only playing week to week rather than having too many midweek games. And no cup games. It's where those opportunities arise. It's the manager doesn't trust Patterson. Seamus, I imagine, would be there or thereabouts, but the injury reckon recently, it's really tough for him. So I would give Ashley Young today a 7.5 for today's performance. As I said, I thought he had a good game. Vitaly Michalenko, back in the side, played the full 90, looked a little bit tired late on. I'll just show you this heat map there. You can see it there. Looks like a big tadpole or something else. But you can see there, he doesn't get forward. And I think we would, not having a goal, Michaelenko, just think we would massively benefit, and Ndiaye would massively benefit if we had a left back, or if Michaelenko was allowed to go up and down. I think one of your fullbacks should always be allowed to go up the pitch, but I think you can see there today that Michaelenko really isn't allowed to go up the pitch, or certainly stops himself going up the pitch. And I think Ndiaye would massively benefit from that if he was allowed to, because it would give him a bit more space and time. But Michaelenko solid, 3 out of 3 ground duels. I think there was times later on in the game, I think it was Hutchinson was taking him to the byline a little bit, but he dealt with it quite well. And again, pretty solid. And when you're playing away from home and you are 2-0 up, you want to just be solid. 58 touches, 88% pass accuracy. You just want to be solid, and you want your defenders to stay solid, and that's what he and the rest of the back four did today. So Michaelenko, yeah, good solid performance. It was so important that none of our defenders made mistakes today, and they didn't, and that's got us another clean sheet, our second clean sheet in a row. So Michaelenko, I would give a 7.3 for today's performance. James Tarkowski, I was a little bit worried about him early on in the game, because I felt like he just looked like he was, I mentioned this before, don't know, just not quite, maybe, with the back injury, it's so important. I know a lot of people said maybe it's time we rest him now. I don't think he'd want resting personally. And I think the first 5-10 minutes in a game are really important for, say, your back. Because your back, I know myself, I've had back problems all my life. Us bigger people do get them. I think it's you can get out of bed some mornings, and honestly, your back just feels like death. It feels like you just, I'm sure anyone who struggles with their back will know the feeling. You really do struggle. And then as you get up and start moving around and get some heat into it, all that tension drops, and suddenly you feel a bit better. And I imagine it's the same for Taki once he starts playing. The first 5-10 minutes, you're just thinking, you don't want anyone to do anything that's gonna, any fast sprints or anything. You want someone who's, and there was a couple early on where I was like, a little bit worried. But once the game went on, and once he did warm up, because it's not the warm up itself before the game can give you so much, but I think it's that first proper sprint, and maybe the first couple of physical contacts. And I think once he got past that first 5 or 10 minutes, I thought he settled down well. And I thought, it must be tough. I'm sure he'll carry this. This won't get a chance to settle down, I imagine, for a while. I imagine it's not an injury. It's an injury that will probably need. It'll need time to settle, and he doesn't have time. He's just had 2 weeks off, effectively. It came in the worst possible time, which was the pre-season. So you've got a whole season ahead of you. And when footballers talk about playing with injuries, this is what they're talking about. Something like this, which just needs rest, but you can play. And he is choosing to play. And obviously the medical team, I'm sure the medical team are like, he needs rest. And the manager will be like, no, I want to play him. And the player will want to play. That's the way players think. That's their mentality. They're professionals. They want to play football. So he's just getting on with the job. And again, I thought he did really well today. 4 out of 6 ground duels, 3 out of 3 aerial duels. I think when Delap gave him that push, I think that was almost like the little signal of, oh, you're not getting anything out of me today. That was like his personal little mission. Like, you are not getting anything out of me today. And him and Michael Keane have got ourselves another clean sheet. So and both of them have played well. So James Tarkowski, I would give a 7 for today's performance. Michael Keane, pretty similar defensively, although less sort of. He had 2 aerial duels and didn't win either of them, and 2 ground duels and won one of them. Pretty steady all day in his defending, but of course it's the goal, isn't it? It's the goal. The goal was absolutely fantastic. I'll just show you his heat map. And as you can see, there's one little blob in the corner of their goal, and that's where he was when he smashed the ball in. So you can see from that heat map how important that, you know, his being in the box was there, to smash it in. It's just there on the heat map. So, but that finish, what a finish that was to make it 2-0. I mean, Michael Keane, you can say what you want, but he has. I mean, listen, Michael Keane has played well in the last couple of games. He really has played well, I thought. But that finish today, unbelievable. And that is, I said it earlier, that's the finish of someone that's been coached, you know, as a centre forward in his younger days. Fantastic finish. So, like, he strikes a ball so well. We've seen it so many times. I think in the old days, if he'd played 25, 30 years ago, he'd have benefited so much from that era of Premier League football. If anyone's as old as me, and I'm sure there are, they'll remember the Paul Warhursts of the world, the Chris Suttons of the world. You know, there was so many back in the day, further back than that, who made a name for themselves by being able to go up front, but not just like late in games either. Like some of them would start games, like Paul Warhurst, like and Chris Sutton started as a centre back. You know, Dion Dublin is another one who could play in both positions, because it's like if you're a centre back, you should know how a centre forward plays, and if you're centre forward, you should know how a centre back plays. So you should, if you've got quality, Michael Keane, I tell you what, as I said, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, there's so many centre backs used to get so many goals, and I'm not talking about like the Derek Mountfields of the world who scored off set pieces, but like there was a lot of like Mick Lyons, Everton, before my time, could do it. But yeah, it was what a finish. Fair play to him. As I said, I think he's only probably hit one better, and that was probably the one against Spurs to get us the 1-1 a couple of years ago. But absolutely fantastic strike. There's no doubt in Michael Keane's quality in the final third, and there's no doubt in his heart really as a player. He's a player. He's an Everton player who'll go down as someone who just wasn't quite there, but he pops up with these goals or these moments now and again. Sometimes it's not even. I mean, the one everyone. The one he scored against Palace was a fantastic finish. The first one in 3-2. He scores these goals now and again that are just so important for Everton. And again, and as I said, he scored the second goal last year, didn't he, at Burnley? And to be fair to him, the last couple of games, I thought he's been really, really steady and has done his job really well. So today for me, I mean, just going on that finish, on that finish, I'd probably give him an 8.5, just mostly for that finish on its own. It was just absolutely delicious, that finish today. So, good stuff from Michael Keane, and it'll be interesting. Be interesting next week if Branthwaite's fit. What he does. Someone in the comments just said there, would you take Taki out? Maybe play Keane and Branthwaite. I probably wouldn't do that because I just think Taki probably will need Taki's just had 2 weeks. Well, he's had 2 weeks off between the games, hasn't he? Or just under 2 weeks. So I think Taki needs like solid rest for it to settle down. So I don't know, but hell of a strike from Michael Keane. Well done to him today. And I have said about Michael Keane a few times. It's not that he's like a terrible player or a terrible defender, anything like that. It's just that bad things seem to happen when he's on the pitch, that aren't typically like the own goal. If anyone's seen the own goal West Ham got today, that's something that would happen to Michael Keane. Just like the goalie kicks the ball at him and it goes in, something like that. You know what I mean? But Luckily, that wasn't the case today. Moving into midfield, the Corey. Yeah, I can listen. The manager picked the Corey and Adesina Gay today. I can sort of see that. I think he likes the physicality of the Corey, playing in that deeper role. He can get around the pitch. He's got aerial threat in both boxes. Maybe I don't know whether I would have. Well, I wouldn't have started him today, to be honest. But I thought he was fine. I thought he was fine. There was a couple of moments when he gave the ball away sloppily. I think one of them led to a free kick just before half time. And he has got those moments. But yeah, as you can see from his heat map he's on the left side there, the right side, popping up on the right wing as well at times, which is a bit weird. 82 pass accuracy touches, got round the pitch. I thought, as I said, quite well, covered the yards, played the full 90 minutes. Probably wouldn't have stayed on if the likes of Tyrone Mbunum or, James Garner, you would have probably took him off just to get some fresh legs on. But I thought he was fine today. Thought he did his job, and it's interesting that the manager didn't start with him at the beginning of the season, didn't think he was ready for whatever reason, or think maybe, well, he started, in the number 10 role, but once McNeil got into that number 10 role, he ended up on the bench, and it was interesting then to see what was going to happen, whether he was going to play games. And he's got back into that deeper role, which I think is, if he's going to play, that's the position he's going to play now. So, yeah, decent all-round game from the Corey. So I'd give him a 7 for today's performance. Adesina Gay, I think you see the difference with this Everton team when Adesina Gay's in it. I think it's a lot more, just a lot more professional as a unit. I think he's just gets around all over the pitch, 47 touches, 90% pass accuracy, just protects that back line, uses all that experience. He made a couple of decent runs forward as well, one into the box where he tried to pull it back, and then the other one when they had a corner, and he done a lovely little sort of let the ball go through his own legs, and then it went through their legs, and then he allowed Dom to break, and we ended up getting a corner from it. He's such a clever player, the way he uses the ball, uses his own body. And for me, he has to play every game. I understand why, he obviously went out to the side. His father died, he had to go back, of course, and then he's come back into the team slowly. He's not playing as much for Senegal anymore, which is probably good for us. Played like 90 minutes over the 2 games for them as well. But he's such a good player. And there you can see his heat map there. And again, onto that left-hand side, covering the full-back as well. And then we saw Decore doing something similar on the other side. And I thought the pair of them today done well in midfield. And he's just got that little bit extra for me, that little bit of nous that you need against teams like this. He never dives in. One thing I love about Ghana, he never dives in, or very, very rarely dives in. And for me, he should be in the Everton team. And it's a bit disappointing that, I suppose, a player of his age, you would be looking at going, he's got to start every single game. But certainly where we are at the moment, with players being out injured, James Garner, Tyrone Mbunum, that's the way it is. But I'm glad he's playing. So Adesina Gay, I would give a 7.5 today for me. Iliman Ndiaye, great goal to make it 1-0. Again, outstanding finish. I was a little bit worried when he went off, because he went off around the same time he went off against Bournemouth. But again, very, very steady. Works his socks off. As I said, his finish for the goal was absolutely brilliant. His heat map's quite interesting today, because as you can see, there's not really that much in their final third. Again, you can see the little spot there where he scored from, but there's not that much. There's a little bit on the edge of the boxes, but the big red spot for him is in our own half. So probably a lot more defending, because he works so hard for the team. And again, I would love to see him with a left back that flies forward. and creates that little bit of space for him, but also someone that he can slip the ball into. Mykolenko, I mean, our fullbacks just don't get forward. That's what the manager wants. That's just the way it is. But you could just imagine if he had, two of our previous fullbacks, left backs playing there, how much of a difference it would make. 32 touches, 72% pass accuracy. No crosses today, which showed that he never really got into the final third. And he only had one dribble attempt, which was just one out of one, which is quiet for him because he had 10 against Newcastle and 5 of them were successful. So really quiet from that point of view. Ground duels, he had 4, 1 out of 7. So again, works his socks off for us. Has been excellent so far this season. Really is that little X factor for us that people do really find it hard to stop him. And as I said, took his goal well today. Scored against Leicester as well, didn't he? Similar time as well. Again, all these little sort of things come into your head when these happen, but we got over the line today. So Ndiaye would give a 7.6 for today's performance. On the other side, Jack Harrison, pretty solid game. Workman-like, still very frustrating in the final third. Again, played the entire game. Again, later on in the game, become more of a defensive situation. No Lindstrom, sick apparently, so he wasn't in the squad, which he might have been a late sub, but then again, he might not have been a late sub with the way the manager is. But Jack Harrison worked really hard. As you can see his heat map there. Lots of red just on the edge of the box, which is good. You'd probably want a little bit more into the box. But he is frustrating in the final third. But in terms of just doing his job today, which is sometimes all you want a player to do when you're away from home, I thought he was solid. 56 touches, 61% pass accuracy. Yeah, as I said, solid, kept the shape, done his job. Some days that's enough. Some days you need more. But today it was enough. So I would give Jack Harrison a 7 for today. Dwight McNeil, his involvement for the second goal was brilliant, to be honest. I thought he faded in the second half as we become more of a defensive team. And obviously towards the end, I think he was on the left-hand side, wasn't he, when Ndiaye went off? But his involvement for the second goal was brilliant. He picked the ball up on the edge of the box. The second goal obviously does not happen without him, whether it's a great finish or not. It doesn't happen without him. Picks the ball up, does a lovely little turn, and then slides it into Michael Keane. It still needs a brilliant finish, but that assist was brilliant from Dwight McNeil. It's what he is. It's what he is capable of. He's a very, very talented footballer in terms of he knows what he wants to do and he's capable of times. It doesn't always work, but I think it's unlocked more of that since he's been in that position. We're seeing more and more of him being involved in these moments, whether it's setting people up or scoring himself. So it's another assist from him today, and I thought that goal was excellent. Absolutely excellent for to set that up. So I'll just show you this heat map. You see, and as you can see as well, he loves getting into that pocket on the right hand side so he can come onto his left foot so he can curl it rather than being on the other side. It's so weird the way now he's gone centrally, very, very rarely drifts back to the left because Ndiaye loves drifting off the left. Again, if we had a left back who went forward, that could unlock this team so much more, I think. But it is what it is. There's nothing you can really do about that. Yeah, and again, apart from that, really solid all-round game. 62 touches, 88% pass accuracy, key passes 2, 7 crosses, 2 accurate, and most of them a corner. He'd actually tried to score from a corner, and he was very unlucky, actually. He saw the goalkeeper edging out, and if he could have just whipped it a little bit closer to the near post, he would have scored, I think. So fair play to him for that as well. So Dwight McNeil, 7.8 for today's performance. he's doing really, really well in that position, I think. And again, it's trying to find that balance behind them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the tale of I don't know, two parts of his game, isn't it? In front of goal, I mean, he's had two big chances missed today. One in the first half, the one-on-one, and then he got another one-on-one in the 94th minute. And he's had a couple of big moments in between that as well. His hold-up play and his keeping the shape and getting Everton up the pitch. It was a lovely run down the left-hand side in the second half. That's exactly what you want your centre-forward to do. It's exactly what you want your centre-forward to do. But you also want your centre-forward to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's the problem, isn't it? That is the problem. Is that Dom, more times out of, he misses those chances, those one-on-ones. Both of them are quite similar as well. He's tried to do the goalkeeper on the inside. And both times he's hit the goalkeeper. Do you know what? Yesterday I was watching a little compilation of Garassi. I was watching the Dortmund game. And at half-time, they had a little compilation of all the goals he scored in Germany. And the finishes that lad... And we nearly had Garassi. Lampard didn't want him. And we ended up getting Mopai. And the finishes, like the confidence in the finishes are just unbelievable. Like he gets one-on-one with the keeper and just like dink it over him, lob. And we're not talking like Haaland levels here of a player. We're talking about a player we could have had. And if Dom just had a little bit about him, there's no composure in front of goal. There's no true belief that he thinks he's going to score. He just doesn't have that true belief that he's going to score when he gets in those situations. I think now, I don't know whether it's technique or whether it's just in his head now that he ain't going to score. The first one, he should just be rolling it in. He should just be rolling it past the goalkeeper. Shouldn't even be any other thought in his head than putting it down the side of the goalkeeper. And then, so by the time, there was another one in the second half as well, where he went round the goalkeeper, and it was actually, it should have been, he should have scored. He should have scored. I really can't make excuses for him in front of goal. And I won't make excuses for him. And I never have made excuses for him. He's not a natural born finisher. I've said this so many times. You can see look at the heat map in the box. I've never seen it. I very, very rarely don't see a heat map like that for Dom either in the box. Very, very rarely. He should have had a goal today, and he knows he should have had a goal. His expected goal today was 1.32. Can't make excuses for that. Can't ever make excuses for that. He should have had a goal. He should have had 2 goals today. And you can't make excuses for that. But the other side of his game is his general play is exceptional for a player who plays up front on his own. He just can't score he can't score the easy ones. At times he scores the hard ones. We'll see what happens when Schmidt comes back. We'll see what happens when Brogier's fit. Dom will be gone at the end of the season. I think, we all know that Dom will be gone at the end of the season. So we have to to not put up with him. Because I think his all-round play is generally really good. It's just, he can't finish. He can't finish that style. And that's the difference, isn't it? A decent striker who wants to be on 15 to 20 goals, scores 2 today. No problem. No problem whatsoever. And that's on him as a centre-forward. He has to put the ball in the back of the net, and he's not doing it. So it's one of them. It's one of them. That's his job, and that's a lot of people judge him on that. I judge him on, personally, on also on what everything else we've got. And Beto, for me, is nowhere near his level. And we've got two others in Schmidt, who's a young player, and Brozier, who's injury. He doesn't say, he hasn't even like kicked the ball for us yet. So, and he's on loan from Chelsea because he's always injured. So Everton need a plan because he won't be playing for us next season. He wants a new challenge, I think. And that's the way it is. Everton, I don't think they'll sell him in January either because he's worth more to us than we'd get for him in this market. So it is what it is. I thought outside the box, I thought he was excellent today. And the minute he got in the box, he should have put the game beyond doubt, beyond absolute doubt today. Sadly, he didn't. So it's a difficult one, this one, because I'm a 6.8 for Dom today. As I said, your centre forward, you've got to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's the top and bottom of it. That is the top and bottom of it. But would I have anyone else starting for Everton up front at the moment? Nope. Not a chance on earth. Not a chance on earth. So a 6.8 for Dom. Mangala came on, played like 10 minutes or so, or 8 minutes plus stoppage time. Didn't really get involved too much. He gave a foul away straight away, didn't he? I don't really know why he was benched today, but manager made the decision. He said there's sickness in the camp as well, so I don't know whether that's part of it. I really don't, but there you go. So I give him a 6 for today's performance. So, yeah, 3 points. You can all watch match of the day. You can all be happy. You can all enjoy your Sunday afternoon. And it's on to Goodison next week. We can all enjoy watching these videos as well. So make sure you go and check out Baz's videos. We'll be back on Monday live at 1:15 on YouTube, and then we'll be doing the final word over on Toffee TV Premier. So make sure you join us for them. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching. See you later.